Welcome, residents, to the Dr. DC podcast. My name is producer Richard, and across from me is the doctor himself.
I was looking at TikToks.
I gotcha.
Baby.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
The studio is no longer in its... I mean, it's here.
The studio is still here, but the studio is no longer a bedroom.
The studio is visiting your house.
Studio is still here.
But, like, the studio is visiting.
Well, as I've said to you before, me studio as
a Susu studio. A thing you said off mic, and I was upset it wasn't on mic.
Well, there you go. Now I've committed it to immortality.
Time in immortum.
Yeah. In memoriam?
In memoriam.
That's not,
no.
that doesn't make sense.
Immortum? Is that?
Well, no, that was the right word. It's just not the right phrase.
It is now. Each week we talk about the weird and wonderful world of DC while fielding questions from listeners like you.
Yeah, well, like some of you.
Yeah, that's true. Not all of you.
No, definitely not.
It's specifically definitely not you.
Yeah, but you know who we're talking about.
Yeah, it's you.
You
son of a bitch.
Hey, what's that show on Netflix you've been into lately?
You?
Yeah.
I'm almost at the end of season 2. It's very good.
You too?
No. Oh, no. Yeah, I went to turn my TV on. It was just automatically on there.
When you start that season, does it go 1, 2, 3, 14?
And it's like that. I hate that. We've got a review. A 5-star review, number 206 from Facebook. Comes to us from Cliff Hollinsworth.
Oh, Cliff. Is that short for Heathcliff?
Heathcliff Hollinsworth?
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
That's an incredible name.
Right?
I kind of hope it is now.
Heathcliff, it's me, Kathy, come over.
Yeah, when are we going to find out that Kathy's racist?
Oh, what? From Wuthering Heights? You think the character Kathy from Wuthering Heights is racist?
No, like Kathy, like Ack.
Oh, but I just sang Heathcliff, like the Kate Bush song, which is about Heathcliff and Kathy from Wuthering Heights. Or the song is called Wuthering Heights, actually.
Oh, I was thinking about Heathcliff, like the comic book character.
There's also that. Oh, man, should Heathcliff and Kathy get together in a Wuthering Heights style story?
Holy shit.
Ack.
Ack indeed.
I like it.
Well, let's...
Are they public domain? Can we do this? Is this happening?
Stop saying that. You've been saying that this whole time I've been... The studio's been staying at your house. Yo, party people. I'm back. Gotta say love the podcast. And I think you guys do this just fine. And I'm clearly...
Cool.
And I'm really hoping you'll do an episode on the Red Hood. P.S. And y'all... Supernatural podcast season 7, you need to bring back the sandwich segment because
I agree.
Season 7 is the most food-oriented season of the show. Anyways, thank you for what y'all do. Peace, love, and happiness.
I like that there's so little punctuation in this review that it kind of reads like an old-timey telegram.
Yeah. Yo, party people, stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, am I doing this wrong? And I'm like, no, it's just written this way.
If you read it where like the word "and" is supposed to be like stop in a telegram, it's like, yo, party people, I'm back. Gotta say, love the podcast. And I think you guys do this just fine. And
yeah,
I'm really hoping you do an episode on Red Hood. P.S. And y'all,
it's very funny.
I like it. Acknowledge. The Halifax Harbor explosion.
Oh.
I was thinking of telegram.
Oh. I thought you were just doing like a self-conscious Dalek. Acknowledge!
The trick is always to find a word that ends with 8.
Yes.
And I don't have one for that.
Yeah.
But those are my favorite kind of joke. Like I like there's an old like one panel comic. It's a Dalek with a loofah on the end of like the laser thing, and it just says exfoliate.
That's good.
That's a good one.
I am slightly disappointed that I didn't put a funnier word above my Dalek.
Oh, on your
tattoo.
What did you put?
Just exterminate.
Yeah. Which, I mean, as a Jew,
I know.
yikes.
Yeah. Well, I'm taking it back.
Yikes.
Yeah. I'm taking it back.
You're thinking about the word good Lord.
Yeah.
You're both Jewish and Armenian.
Yeah.
I think you didn't think that through at all.
Yeah, I know. Both sides of me. I'm surprised I exist.
Yeah. And just to spit in the face of God.
Yeah, I know.
You put the word exterminate on your body.
Yeah, I fucking dare you.
Yeah, I mean,
See?
oof.
Thanks for the review, Cliff.
Yes, yeah, sorry, thank you. Yeah, that's the button on that.
Speaking of time,
Heathcliff Hollinsworth. 3rd Earl of Derby.
Heath Cliffington Hollinsworth.
Please invite Baron Wessex on Thursday for fox hunting and
Hell yeah.
yeah, for fox hunting and dry bread. This is Britain.
Yes, but do not invite Robin, for he does not wear hand-me-downs.
Well, yes, of course. Yeah, Brenton Thwaites.
That's correct.
God, that really is a bougie name.
I know.
I love it.
Yeah, we're talking about time travel again.
Baby.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about characters.
We're going Back to the Future too.
Characters and like who either inherently have the ability or have technology that has the ability to travel through time. Because timey-wimey.
It says Silly Willy.
Yeah. I like time travel. Time travel stories are fun.
Yeah, I what's your favorite time travel movie?
Oh, interesting. My favorite time travel movie?
Yeah.
I mean, Back to the Future is a pretty obvious one that's up there. God. I mean, I wouldn't... It's a stretch to call it a time travel movie, I think. But I like the way...
The Time Traveler's Way.
I like the way they do time travel in Endgame. I think that's fun. Just, to insert you in scenes you've seen, but from a different perspective.
Yeah.
I think that's fun. I like that. God, yeah, I gotta think about. I mean, Time Cop is up there for me. I fucking love Time Cop. I think it's how did this get made? Pointed out that it's a time travel movie that saved a bunch of money by having them time travel to the year the movie was made.
I mean, that's very
instead
funny.
Of spending a bunch of time in the future, you spend the whole movie in 1994.
That is very
it's very funny. I do love Time Cop. Time Cop's up there.
Yeah, I liked Looper was good.
Looper's good. Looper's interesting.
Idiocracy is good.
I might not have seen that.
Idiocracy?
I don't know that I've seen
Fuck,
that.
you need to see that movie. You'd love that movie.
Yeah, I don't think I have.
That's a great ass movie.
Do you have any other kind of time travel faves?
Yeah, I think Austin Powers.
Oh, yeah. I mean, is it time travel if you're just getting frozen and then waking up later? Or do you by definition, you can only count Spy Who Shagged Me and Goldmember?
Sure, fair.
Because they're the only ones that
those are both still great
have
movies.
actual time travel in them.
Those are still, absolutely great. The Star Trek...
Star Trek 4.
Yeah, Star Trek 4, yeah.
Star Trek 4 is great. And actually, so is the JJ one. That's both time travel and alternate universe shit.
Yeah.
But the first Kelvin movie is really good.
I think my favorite might be Primer.
First Contact, too.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Great. Primer.
It's an indie time travel movie from years ago, early 2000s. And it's very much, it's more of it's definitely like a drama, like indie sci-fi movie where basically this guy creates it, the technology in his garage and ends up just destroying his life.
I like the book, The Time Machine.
Yeah.
And I didn't love the movie.
Like the H.G. Wells?
Yeah. I didn't love I think Guy Pearce movie
Sure,
that they made of it.
I tried to watch.
I like that book.
I tried to watch that one with fucking Domhnall Gleeson and Rachel McAdams or whatever.
About Time?
Yeah,
that one?
That fucked me up. I couldn't. I tried to watch. I mean, I was also post divorce and alone.
Oh, so did that one get to you?
Yeah, and it was just.
Why would you pick that?
It's
what's you were trying to wallow.
Yeah, a little bit, and then it was.
I get it.
And then I
understand.
But then it got too real.
Yeah, fair. Jesus.
It was just talking about a guy like trying to like keep changing his life to make himself love more, and I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that.
Yeah,
to you. Yeah.
that was like like I was talking just to someone on the phone, and they're like, stop, please just put down the remote, and I was like, no, I need this.
Here's a question for you. Does Groundhog Day count as a time travel movie? Because it's a time loop, but it seems to be organic / magic as opposed to him like hitting a device or something.
I would say it's a time related movie, but I don't know if I
Here's another one I'll throw out there that I really like that I think was underrated at the time. I think people have come around on it.
Yeah.
But Edge of Tomorrow.
That's a great movie.
Really good.
Yeah.
I really like Edge of Tomorrow.
I love that movie. That's a great movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're talking time travel.
Yeah, baby.
We got some questions that we should probably get to.
Yeah, let's do it.
First, we're going over to Facebook.
Going to the face in the book. Going to the Facebook.
First question comes from Stephen Marion Almagro.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's correct.
Jesus.
Who did we used to do that about?
Caballero.
Yeah. Steven asks, please talk about Extant. Gonna give it to you. Extant gonna give it to you. That's
Extant is gonna give it to you.
That's correct. Consensually.
So, I remember you remembered a little bit about Extant. Do you remember who Extant is?
Now I feel like I don't.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But you nailed it, actually, I think last year or the year before in the quiz during the annual.
That was crazy. I feel like I blacked out during that.
You were wild. Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
I was really in like a reading comic books phase at the time.
Yeah. It's like when Shaq, it's like those rare times where you see Shaq try on the court.
Yes.
And you're like, holy shit, this guy
yeah, he's good.
He could have been the best of us.
Yeah. But he just like relied on being big.
So Extant is like a time manipulating villain. He's one of the main villains of the 0 Hour event, which is the time crisis. Extant though is Hank Hall, the former Hawk.
Oh, I do remember knowing that. Yeah.
Of Hawk and Dove. And Hawk has a sort of weird trajectory because he first becomes Monarch in an event called Armageddon 2001. And that's the event that we've talked about where famously it leaked that Monarch was going to be Captain Atom. So they just arbitrarily changed it to Hank Hall because they were like...
Some fucking bullshit coward writers.
Listen, well, it's probably more like coward editors.
Yes.
But, if shit leaks. Yeah.
The idea that
it sucks.
People finding out a reveal means
sucks
it's
that a surprise
ruined.
is ruined, but I don't read things for surprises.
No, you read them for good writing.
Yeah.
A surprise is fun. It should be the fucking candy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at the point now where spoilers no longer deter me from a thing.
Also,
I would prefer to have the
moment.
organic experience, but I've been seeing Picard spoilers before I go and watch an episode. It doesn't ruin the shit for me, you know? So he ended up being Monarch.
Mm-hmm.
Monarch kills in a time travel story. Monarch kills Dove, and Hawk kills Monarch. Takes off Monarch's helmet or mask or whatever. Sees it's him, and then he becomes Monarch because he kind of goes crazy. Then Monarch later kills Wave Rider, I think, and absorbs his time travel abilities and time powers, and he becomes Extant.
Yeah.
Extant goes on to fight the Justice Society during 0 Hour. You learn he's working for Parallax.
Mm-hmm.
And he's later killed by he has his place swapped in time, and he ends up dying in a plane crash that had happened earlier.
Yes.
So that's what happens to Hank Hall, to Extant. But that's it. The trajectory for Hank to go from Hawk powers to time powers is that moment as Monarch when he kills Wave Rider.
Yeah.
Because that event, Armageddon 2001, that introduces, Wave Rider. We get the Linear Men in there. We get Monarch in there. It's all about this future where Monarch is this tyrant that's taken over the world and stuff like that. And so, as a kind of a loop on that story, Monarch ends up with the powers of Wave Rider and becomes Extant.
Damn.
Who
thusly
gave it to you.
Yeah, thusly then gonna give it to you.
Yeah.
All right, we're leaving Facebook and heading on over to Twitter.
Twitter.
First question comes from Bird Lawyer.
Your Honor? I'd like to submit exhibit A.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Bird Lawyer. My client couldn't have stolen that nest. He represents birds as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, is he a bird that's a lawyer or is he a bird lawyer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he's he's just a guy who like only represents birds.
I mean, that's even funnier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Is there shit on your coat? We're all admitting there's shit on your coat. But is that necessarily my bird? I say that's racist. Speciest? Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the burden of proof is on the prosecution today.
I think we should at least pull the travel restrictions. He's not like he's going to fly the coop. Fuck yeah. Bird Lawyer.
I like it. My client was not caught robbing that bank.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You'll be raving about my closing argument.
That's so Raven.
That's so Raven.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think we're done with Bird Lawyer.
For now.
Next question.
Yeah. Bird Lawyer asks, does time travel affect the fourth world? I think Morrison set them up to be able to be above the influence of the multiverse. But can they be affected by events such as Flashpoint?
Yeah, I mean, you're right in that that map of the multiverse, the New Genesis and Apocalypse are in the sphere of the gods, which are more like conceptual realms, right?
Yeah.
And we've talked before about the idea of these characters like manifesting on the various parallel Earths. But that's not to say necessarily that those realms are beyond time, right? Like, stuff happens in a linear progression in heaven, right? You look at, the story with Asmodel and like the rebellion in heaven and stuff with Zoriel, right? Like,
yeah,
there's a certain linear or like if you go to heaven one day from Earth versus a different day from Earth, new people are there because they've died in between.
Mm-hmm.
I think time is more flexible. You could probably re-enter the main timeline at different points more easily from the sphere of the gods than from just Earth.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not without time. And as far as like the new gods go, we just talked about Final Crisis last week, but let's say like time is part of that story and the new gods are not above it.
Mm-hmm.
Orion gets shot with a bullet fired backwards through time. That doesn't there's nothing else in that story other than nothing else in that story travels backwards through time. The Black Racer doesn't. He travels forwards with the Flashes.
Mm-hmm.
And no other new gods, are doing time hops when their forms died and they're manifesting. So, I mean, time travel does affect the new gods. I'm positive that's not the only time travel story they're implicated in. But yeah, that idea of like the sphere of the gods, I don't think that means it's beyond time. I think it can mean that.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily true. Think of Sandman. Think of the realm of Dream. That's also in the sphere of the gods. When Morpheus is captured for 70 years on Earth, and then he returns to the dream realm,
shit has changed.
Yeah. So there's clearly like a progression of time. Time does affect these beings. They have a different perspective on it. They have a different capacity to manipulate it even or perceive it, but it still affects them,
Maybe it happens, within a different time span or something, but...
Yeah, and for some of them, it's... Maybe they don't care that much about it, or maybe, they could re-enter earlier. Like, they might be able to futz with time, but that's a lot different than saying time has no effect on them.
Yeah. All right, next from Truth, Justice, and Hope, who asks, Do you think Wave Rider is underrated and should have made more appearances after the 90s?
I fucking love Wave Rider.
Yeah.
Wave Rider is
this like a Silver Surfer type character?
kind of, yeah. Man, have you seen Wave Rider before?
Well, I'm just...
I just for the name.
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of is, except he has golden skin.
Sure.
Kind of fiery orange hair.
Oh, I have seen him, yes.
And he rides a time rainbow.
Yeah, I have seen him.
He's the coolest, raddest fucking 90s character.
Yeah. I've definitely seen some books.
I fucking love Wave Rider.
Yeah.
Wave Rider, his name is Matthew Rider, or Matt Rider. He has a sort of complicated history with the Linear Men, who are people in charge of like patrolling the timeline.
Sure.
Initially, I think he was like the grandson of the original Matthew Rider, and then in 0 Hour, you learn that he has to become himself. Like there's a weird kind of like he was his own grandfather sort of thing in 0 Hour. He has the ability of like chronal manipulation. He can travel the time stream. He has time powers. He can, affect time. Mm-hmm. He's a very, very cool character. When you think of it is interesting to think of the relationship with Booster Gold, who is more or less the default time character for DC.
Yeah.
Time travel character for DC. Like other characters do time travel, including the Flash and shit like that. But when you're thinking of like who is our time travel guy, Booster's sort of taken that over. And they did a thing in is it the New 52 or is it in like fucking Future's End or some shit like that, where the Booster Gold from the pre-Flashpoint timeline became the Wave Rider of the New 52 timeline, or I might be made out of that backwards. They did some weird shit with Booster Gold and Wave Rider, and there was also a thing in 52, the weekly series that came after Infinite Crisis, that implied that the material that Skeets is made of, Skeets like the Booster's robot buddy, is Wave Rider's skin. Like the robot is made of Wave Rider's skin.
Oh wow.
Yeah, which is fucked
Jesus.
up. Yeah.
Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me.
Oh my god, yeah. It puts the time stream in the basket.
Or else it gets the
hose and get fucked.
Still the hose.
Shit.
Idiot.
Time hose.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, saved it.
Yeah.
I like Wave Rider. I think he's got a cool design.
Do you think he should be back?
Yeah. You should bring back the Linear Men too. Like I don't. It's not like time is so small that we can't have more time characters.
I don't think you need so much time. I think sometimes a little bit of time could still do a lot of good.
No, absolutely not.
It's about how you use the time.
No. At least not what I've been told.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
All right. Next question. Oh, God, I forgot about this question. From Chris Chan.
Oh, right. Jesus.
Her favorite religious representative.
Good Lord.
Who asks, at what point in your lives, i.e. Dr. DC and producer Richard, would a hero need to travel to for the most capable versions of yourself in order to save the DCU from a crisis-level event?
Right.
What about the most vulnerable moment for a villain to travel to cripple your lives?
I mean, good Lord. First of all, aggressive question.
Yeah.
Secondly, we're talking about like to find the most capable versions of us to help in a crisis. But I think the question is less about like when were we at our most capable and more what crisis necessitates our skills.
There's a podcast level event.
You know what I mean? Like when did Renee Montoya and the Supermen of the Multiverse go like, is anybody here a graphic designer?
God, I wish for the day. I would probably say me 2 years ago is probably the most capable version of myself.
Right.
When I feel like everything's going right.
Yeah.
And I like feel more capable than I ever have.
Yeah. And then for the second question, it's you 1 year ago.
Yeah. No, because I mean, But that's not like you do something to that part of my life. Because like if you look and kill, like if you don't kill Barry's mom or something, or you kill Barry's mom,
Sure.
like that's a moment, right?
Sure, you're right.
But like you do anything to me like a year ago, that doesn't like change anything.
Sure, right.
I'm still sad.
Okay, so sorry. The first half of the question is, when would they have to go to find the most capable you to help in a crisis?
Yeah.
And the second half is when are you at your lowest? When they would like?
Well, when are you at a
like? The idea is like if they went back and exploited that moment of weakness, then your heroic self would never exist. Sort of idea.
Yes, yeah.
Most capable me. Well, it depends on like what's. Yeah, I don't know really what I bring to the table in a crisis level event, frankly.
Because I mean, you like 22 when you still have your martial arts body and training.
Here's the thing,
and the confidence of a beautiful man.
True. I mean, I guess if you want just an extra body for a fight, then yeah. But if my power is the thing we keep talking about, which is just knowledge, I've never known more than I know now.
Yes.
So
now.
But if we want to balance that out with thinking I know more than I do, then it's also probably when I'm like 24.
Sure, yeah.
23, 24.
Yeah.
It's a pretty low moment. And that would be,
Is that right after you got left?
Yep.
Hey, me too.
Yep.
I think probably the moment for me is my like lowest point right before everything changed, which was like I had like left high school early, and I had like I basically had like gotten to the point with cooking that I had no passion for it anymore, and I was like, I have no career, I've got no education, I don't know what to do with my life, and there was a moment where my uncle goes to me and he goes, you know, you're smart enough to just like go to college. And I was like, I don't think so. You have to like finish high school. And he's like, nah, you could just go. And and that moment like changed the rest of my life.
Is that true, or was he wrong about? Like, did you have to get a GED for this?
No. I just had to do an equivalency test because I was old enough.
Oh,
so it was like because I was like
good.
I was like 25, and they were basically like, all right, just take this test, and as long as you score high, you'll do well. And I ended up in like the top 2 percentile, and they were like, all right, here you go.
Oh yeah, that's all right.
Here's like a free ride. Go nuts.
Interesting.
And so, but like if he had never said that to me, like
if they catch you right before your uncle says that.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like that's like the most vulnerable moment that also like put me on a path to goodness.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit concerned that so many like key like moments in time for you hinge on someone stopping an uncle from saying something to
you. Well, not just saying.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, that's the answer to that question. Next comes from,
but also, what are we bringing to a crisis level event?
Oh yeah, no.
I appreciate the vote of confidence, but like
I could like cook for them, like
yeah, until there's just like, does anybody here know a lot about Lord of the Rings?
Yeah. I mean, there's that.
I mean, I guess I could in DC theoretically have some sort of lore in a Morrison kind of sense,
where it's like, oh, it's all real.
Where like who knows the comics to get us from world to world,
like a Starfighter situation. Yeah,
there's maybe a slight argument for that.
Sure.
In which case, it's probably still me now.
Yeah, or
slightly depressing, I guess. But
yeah, or
the only thing I'm getting better at is this. Ugh.
Or you find out that like the Federation exists, and they're like, we need someone to fly a ship.
Oh my god! I mean, we've had this conversation so many times where I was like, I've seen so much Star Trek so many times. I'm confident that I could captain a vessel. I know how like all the systems work.
I'm so desperate to put you to that challenge.
If there's a way to do it, I'll do it.
That is not expensive.
I'll Ender's Game.
Yes.
Federation.
Last Starfighter.
Or Last Starfighter.
Yeah. Or Pixel.
Yeah, definitely Pixels.
Yeah. I want to fuck some weird.
I'm gonna fuck Cubert.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck that hologram of Moriarty.
Hell yeah. He'd be capable.
Ah, no, I should have gone with Riker's weird sex jazz club.
Oh yeah.
Damn it.
Did I send you that Sims image today?
Yeah.
All right. Next question comes from Hosler. Or Hollowsler.
Okay.
Who asks, who's the first chronokinetic in the DC universe? Not chronologically in the universe, but more so first appeared in comics, you know? Like, was he some obscure Golden Age character or wacky Silver Age one kind of thing?
So it is in the Golden Age.
Okay.
There are, here are some things here.
Okay.
There are time travel stories as far back as like some of the earliest comics. Like I think there's a time travel story in like 1935, just in like a random comic, before even the idea of superheroes had really,
Yeah.
been a thing, coalesced.
Yeah.
But in the superhero world, think of who is an early sort of time character, and Per Degaton, the Justice Society villain, who's sort of known for time manipulation. Now, he does it with technology, or did, until he kind of becomes like unmoored from time a little bit. And he first appears in like 1947.
Okay.
That's relatively early. There are time travel stories before that, though. The thing is, I haven't read them all, so I don't necessarily know if they're like about time travelers. I guess there's one where someone fucks with time, and the Justice Society has to use Green Lanterns. So Alan Scott, they have to use Green Lantern to get them back in time. And that's in the early 40s.
Wow.
I looked some of this up earlier, but I'm slightly fuzzy on that. It's maybe like 42, 43.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an early Golden Age Flash story where he uses pills to go to the future or something. So there are time travel stories.
Mm-hmm.
I guess by that logic, something like The Flash or Green Lantern or whatever are like the earliest in publication time travelers. But it's possible that there's an even earlier one, like a Superman story or something like that. This feels a little bit like a Jaffe question, but from what I could see, early 40s, like 42 is around the earliest you see a time travel story, and a lot of them are kind of Justice Society adjacent.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Next question comes from Nostalgia November.
Oh, yeah. I remember when I grew that mustache.
Future theme, maybe.
Oh. No, remember, it's No Theme November.
Oh, yeah. God, we're good at this.
We're so good at this.
It's
It's right up there with normal February.
the best idea we ever had. Secondary to Eatgist. From Nostalgia.
By the way,
Yeah.
just a little tease. I'm not going to say what it is, but like, you came up with a great Eatgist idea. Eatgist 2023 is going to fucking slap.
It's going to turn this whole year around for me.
Oh, yeah. And we're not putting too much pressure on it.
No, based on what's happened to me this year, it's the only thing that could fix it.
Yeah. And if it doesn't,
You'll
hashtag last year
that's
of the podcast.
of the me.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hashtag sweet release.
fuck. Hell yeah. I got nothing else to live for.
Oh, Jesus. Dude. That's not okay, man.
Huh? Sorry, just having nostalgia November.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Who asks thoughts on Kronos and his soundtrack? Soundtrack.
Oh, right. They attached a link to this one. So, Kronos, just some setup here. Kronos is the Silver Age arch nemesis of the Atom. It's Kronos the Time Bandit. He initially was a guy who his name is David Clinton, and he basically he had like technology that could allow him to manipulate time. Sometimes it was actual time travel.
Yeah.
And sometimes it was stuff like he could like speed up like localized time. So if you put him in like a jail cell, he'd speed it up so like the bars would rust.
Oh,
He could
cool.
do shit like that.
Yeah.
So Kronos, the time thief or time bandit, is an Atom archenemy. Eventually, Kronos sells his soul to Neron, as a bunch of characters do, in return for actual power.
Okay.
He has actual time powers. There was a Kronos after him, whose name I don't remember, but he had his own little series, and he was kind of like a bit of an anti-hero kind of Kronos, who'd sometimes do good, sometimes do bad, or whatever. And that one was also like a technology thing, I'm pretty sure. There was a Lady Kronos at one point as well, who had a connection to Ryan Choi, the second Atom. But in general, Kronos, a guy that can both travel through and manipulate time. Now,
What's the soundtrack?
The thing that was sent was a link here that goes to an article that was all about. It's from that series with the second Kronos. So this isn't David Clinton. This is the guy whose name I don't remember. And in this one, the panel shows that he's a fan of alt rock, as is evident from the posters hanging on the wall of his apartment in Ivytown. That includes Beck and some other ones. The Dream of the 90s. Let's see. Oh, okay. I guess there's some following songs. Oh, no, I see. Yeah, it's just that there are some posters in this panel, and then this guy made a playlist.
Oh, okay.
Walker Gabriel. That's the name of this Kronos.
So what are the other songs?
The songs that this guy came up with are like Places Named After Numbers by Frank Black.
Don't know it.
Step Behind by Tripping Daisy.
Don't know it.
Invisible Man by the Breeders.
Know it.
Old Timer by That Dog.
Don't know it.
Blue Jackets by Mike Watt.
Don't know it.
Counting Backwards by Throwing Muses.
Don't know it.
All right, well, that sounded like a fun little...
So my thoughts on it are...
there is a Throwing
I
Muses
don't know
poster in this thing.
Breeders is dope, but otherwise I have no fucking clue.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry.
We're
I'm not nearly like alt enough to know most of this.
I am, but not that old.
Yeah. Now, listen, if he had a fucking Goo Dolls poster.
Fuck yeah, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Man, if we go to that concert...
Oh, shit. Right, who was that again?
The Counting Crows and Dashboard Confessional.
I mean, my God. Weird energy for a night.
Weird concert.
God, I hope Dashboard Confessional's first.
I know, what a weird
Yeah.
combo, but I desperately want to
When
go
is
to
it?
that.
Because I will go to that with you.
I don't remember. We need to look it up.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Subscribe to Patreon.
Oh, also, now we're just fully having a separate conversation.
Yeah.
Your cousin reached out to me and said that tomorrow they're pre-selling tickets for May for Auntie Donna in Vancouver.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Right on. Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
Too.
So please subscribe to our Patreon.
We really need it for work.
Yeah, work thing.
For work. Cut this. Remember to
Oh
cut
yeah,
this
no,
shit
of course,
out.
yeah, obviously.
Put in like a good answer too, because I feel like we didn't really do a good one there.
Yeah, okay.
That's just like a note for when you're thoroughly listening through for the edit.
like I always do.
Yeah, so just make sure you cut this bit out.
Yep.
Do the fixes that I suggested.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, I don't need to tell you.
Yeah.
You're
yeah,
always on
yeah,
top
yeah,
of it.
yeah.
but-
Hey, editing, Richard. It's gonna get better.
Oh no.
Let's leave Twitter and head on over to Instagram.
Now we're going to Instagram, take some questions and answer them.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Nice.
Everything's fine.
Everything's good.
That you could tell.
I mean, for me, I don't know. Life's pretty good right now.
Fuck you. All right, first question comes from Gucci Beanbag.
Oh yeah, that's what you see, like a really good scrote.
That's a Gucci Beanbag.
When you go for your checkup, you're like, "Hey doc, how's my beanbag?" He's like, "It's Gucci.
Hey,
She's Dees."
remember when I got your kid to draw a penis?
No, she drew the penis of her own
yeah.
accord. You got her to draw jizz.
Yeah. Well,
She was trying to draw a castle tower, but she didn't make the top like triangular enough.
she made it like a circle, like a half circle top.
Yes. And then you said there should be smoke coming out of the chimney at the top.
And then I said there should be vines coming up the side of the tower and two rocks at the bottom.
Brutal. Brutal.
And you were really split, I think, between being rad and being a parent.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were like, "Fuck, that's good," but oh no,
Don't.
but nice. was fun seeing you really walk that tightrope.
I mean, you're describing my life. My life is that weird, like.
I know. I've worked with you.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Hot shots. Just us giggling and sending each other private messages in a very important meeting.
I've had so many unusable business ideas.
So sad. Gucci Beanbag asks, can someone explain the concept of Captain Adam's ability to time travel? I feel like I heard or read somewhere that he could go forwards or backwards in time. How far forward or backwards, depending on if he exploded? Surprise, surprise. But can he do this consciously? Stay sexy, Doc and PR.
So,
fucking stay sexy yourself, you bastard.
Easy. Jesus.
Hell yeah.
Why were you defensive about that? He said a nice thing.
I know, but I was being like Dom about it.
Well,
yeah. I'll show you sexy.
I mean, that's better.
Yeah, good boy.
No, I'm out again.
Yeah, I know. I'm not good at it.
I'm a bad boy. No.
Yeah.
So Captain Adam, Charlton character, again, we talked about him relatively recently, but when Captain Adam gets his DC reboot, the story is that Nathaniel Adams participates in this experiment. It basically gets blown up with a nuke, and it catapults him forward in time 20 years. And then when he shows up and he's living energy and he's in this containment suit, it's 20 years later. And that, to your point, was an accident. It was a nuclear explosion, and like he's a quantum superhero, and he ends up in the future. There have been a few stories, and in particular during the New 52, that were exploring the idea that as his power grew and as he lost control of it, he was Dr. Manhattaning a bit, right? This is that reflexive thing where like the thing that took its influence from Captain Adam then started exerting influence on Captain Adam. And they started exploring that idea of the Dr. Manhattan thing, the becoming almost like distanced from time and reality and things like that. At that point, though, I still think if he was seeing time, he wasn't traveling through it, as I recall.
Yeah.
Someone might correct me there. I think for the most part, Captain Adam has only journeyed through time accidentally and via like loss of control of his powers.
Yeah.
So like an explosion or something like that. Because I think that also happens in the fall and rise of Captain Adam, but it's only like a few weeks or something. But he does it again. He like explodes again, loses control of his powers, and then shows up, and he gets like a different suit and pretends to be a different Captain Adam because that's going to save his reputation or something.
Sure.
That's a weird story. But yeah, I mean, Captain Adam, theoretically, his power set, being kind of living energy and having sort of quantum powers, theoretically, yeah, he should probably exert some sort of like time travel ability. But that doesn't seem to really be a thing for Captain Adam.
Yeah.
What would have kind of made that a thing is Armageddon 2001 if he was Monarch, who was a time traveling villain.
Yeah.
And then that didn't happen. I think that's the kind of the short version.
Totally.
Because even Dr. Manhattan doesn't travel in time. He just exists in all time simultaneously.
Oh, okay.
All time for him.
Yeah.
Like, he can't live when he doesn't live. You know what I mean? He can't see a future if he's dead.
Mm.
But he experiences his entire prism of time simultaneously. Past, present, future. But he's in the present. That's why he keeps saying things like, I can't change it. It's already happened.
Yeah.
He's living every moment at the exact same time. So even that's not time travel.
No.
That's a different kind of perception of it.
All right.
Yeah.
Damn.
Baby.
Next question from Delgado Andrew, who asks, of all the time travel weirdness in DC, I find Per Degaton's and the Time Trapper's powers the weirdest to wrap my head around. How do they work exactly?
The Time Tapper. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you gotta tap that time.
Yeah, baby. That time doesn't know what's coming for it.
Oh, Jesus. Time Trapper is such a fucking douchebag.
Yeah.
I hate him in his popped hood.
He's got like 3 hoods.
Yeah, he's wearing like a
up.
Lacoste hooded cloak.
Yeah. God, did you do the multiple
Oh yeah,
pop
baby.
collar things?
Oh yeah, you're goddamn right.
Yeah. God, we were the worst.
Yeah, man.
Fucking sloppy steaks, hair slicked back.
Yeah, hair slicked back. Slop up those steaks. Yeah. This baby knows that I used to be a piece of shit.
Yeah.
What was the question? Oh, right. How did their powers work?
Yeah.
So Per Degaton, who I mentioned not too long ago,
Yeah.
is a Justice Society villain who fucks with time. He's a literal Nazi who fucks with time. He used to do it with technology. I think he had these things called time discs that he could throw and they would fuck with time. And then he also had like various technologies that would allow him to either go forward or backward in time and do things. At a certain point in his story, which gets pretty convoluted, almost as convoluted as like a Reverse Flash kind of thing, there are chronal duplicates and like versions of him from timelines that no longer exist and stuff like that. And he kind of becomes like unmoored from time. This is a thing that happens to a lot of time characters. It also happens to David Clinton at a certain point. Kronos. He becomes Clinton. twirling. But Per Degaton becomes sort of unmoored in time, and he kind of phases in and out of the timeline, and then he kind of gets a little bit more of like, it's pretty abstract, but he has like time powers. He's a little bit more of like an actual inherent time traveler than having like a remote control that does a thing or whatever. Do I know precisely how that works? Not really. I think it's probably just explained as like exposure to time waves. You know what I mean? Like it's that kind of shit. As for the time trapper, I think it's probably more confusing because there are 3 different versions of the time trapper. There's the original pre-crisis version of the time. I'm gonna fuck this up. The Legion gets so fucking confused. They're all like the Legion. At least when the New 52 happened, a bunch of characters just didn't exist.
Yeah.
The Legion, every time something happens, they like half retcon them. So like the Legion is wild to try and unpack. 3 versions of the time trapper. I'm pretty sure there's the original one.
Yeah.
And then there's one that you learn is actually a future version of Cosmic Boy, of Rock Kryn.
Okay.
How did his powers work? Great question. Rock Kryn has magnetism powers.
Sounds like my powers.
Yeah. Animal magnetism power.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah. And then the 3rd version is in Legion of 3 Worlds. I'm pretty sure Superboy Prime is a time trapper.
Mm-hmm.
I might have that slightly fucked up. It might be that the pre-crisis time trapper is the future Rock Kryn, and the other one that shows up in 0 Hour is not. I might have it backwards, but essentially there's like basically 3 time trappers. One of them like lives at the end of time in a castle and shit like that, and has just time powers. I don't know that we ever really figure out how or why. He had this thing that was like an iron time curtain that basically the Legion couldn't go far enough into the future to get at him. He had set up a literal iron curtain.
Yes.
I don't even fully remember if that's technology based or his powers. But Time Trapper has powers, like time powers.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big Time Trapper death in 0 Hour, which is interesting. I don't really know how his powers work, is the short version, other than to say he has time powers. He's the Time Trapper. That's how that shit works. Per Degaton basically gets powers, or the powers become inherent to him after repeated use and being a chronal duplicate, like from another timeline. Like he does so much fucking with time that like my because Speed Force will be because time waves.
Sure.
He does so much time manipulation that time waves make him part of time. Basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Truly, it's with some of these, the answer is just because they have time powers. Like, it's not a thing where it's like the time trapper, like he was a future clockmaker and then the lightning struck the clock.
Yeah.
Time like they don't get origins like that.
No.
Or, Matthew Ryder, he's doing a time experiment and then he gets powers to become Wave Rider. That's maybe the most explained time powers one ever is Wave Rider. But for the most part, that's like just not how it works. Because even it's like, so like Hawk as Monarch kills Wave Rider and takes his powers. Like how? I don't know.
He did.
He just has them now.
Yeah.
Fair.
Like,
okay.
Yeah. Fair. Don't look at the man behind the iron curtain.
It's like, yeah, exactly.
All right. Next question comes from That D the Geek, who asks, does a speedster need the cosmic treadmill, or can they just run back in time Superman 2 style?
They don't need the cosmic treadmill for that. They can just go back in time. And actually, they're relatively accurate at running back in time.
Okay.
The cosmic treadmill really comes in when they have to go forward in time.
Okay.
Because that's unpredictable and difficult for speedsters to accurately run to the future.
Sure.
Some can manage it a little, Reverse Flash always manages to make it back to his time.
Yeah.
But it's difficult. So the Flash actually can move forward and backward in time unaided. But if you want precision, you want to go somewhere specific or an actual specific future or whatever, the cosmic treadmill helps them focus their power and like get to a specific point. The closest analogy I can come up with in the popular culture is the thing that Iron Man tries to describe in Endgame, which is like what happened to Ant-Man was a fluke, but if you want to recreate it specifically, you need technology to help you. The way they approach time travel there, in a very broad sense, is the idea of the cosmic treadmill. The Flash can run into the future, but think of the times where we see that happen. In Final Crisis, they're like, I think we're 2 weeks in the future. Like, they don't even really know where they ended up when they moved that.
Do you
fast.
think it's easier to go back to the time that you came from?
Yes.
Like, is that maybe that's partly why Reverse Flash is having an easier time going back to his time?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I guess
because he's going to the future, but not really. He's going back to his time.
Totally. And there's also a whole thing about your vibrational frequency. And it's not just about what Earth you're on, it's what part of time you're from. Like in the New 52, the Kid Flash there was like posing as Bart Allen, but his name was Bartor, and he was from the future.
Sure.
And I think in Forever Evil, Johnny Quick can sense that his vibration's off, and he reattunes him, and it sucks the Teen Titans into the future. It like opens a portal and sucks them into Bartor's future.
Wow.
So there are a few little nooks and crannies for speedsters about navigating time. But the short version of this is that speedsters can move forward and backward through time unaided.
Yeah.
What the cosmic treadmill does is provide accuracy or a boost in power.
Sure.
If it's like we've never tried to like go back in time for this or take this many people back in time or whatever, then the cosmic treadmill gets out of mothballs kind of thing.
Totally.
Yeah.
All right, let's leave Instagram and head on over to Reddit.
Where everyone's nice and no one's ever mean?
That's correct. First question comes from Alfred Izadi, who asks, who developed time travel for the Legion of Superheroes?
Brainiac 5.
Cool. Next question.
Brainiac 5 invents the time bubble, which is the Legion's like main time travel conveyance. Yeah. You see it in a lot of old Legion comics. You see the time bubble in different versions of the cartoons and stuff, like in Young Justice in season 4. You see the time bubble. There's all sorts of stuff. You see a time bubble in fucking The Flash in season 1.
Yeah, that's right.
In that one, they say that it's Rip Hunter's design or whatever, but Rip Hunter has a time bubble as well. But it's Brainiac 5 who develops that. Now, there's also a thing called a time cube from the Legion's era, and I just need to remind myself of who actually made the time cube, because that's a name I don't just remember offhand. The time cube was different, though. It could move things through time, but only like temporarily. Time cube was developed by Rond Vidar, and there's technically a difference. The time bubble allowed you to enter the time stream and navigate it. The time cube would teleport things through time.
Okay.
So you wouldn't like travel through the intervening time.
Sure.
one way or the other. You know what I mean? But it was temporary, and you had to be. It was like you had it for stuff to come back. It had to end up in the same place that it landed. So, like, let's say you used a time cube on yourself,
Yeah.
and you went back in time a week, and it dropped you here on the couch. You had like 24 hours or 36 hours or whatever it was then to do what you had to do. And then you'd have to get back to this couch by that window.
Okay.
And if you didn't, you were stuck there.
Oh.
Like, it wouldn't just beam you back from wherever you were. You had to, like, at a specific time, be in a specific place. So the time cube had all of these extra restrictions and shit on it, but it was a different kind of technology.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Next question from Just Takes One Bad Day 725.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
It just takes one bad day.
And there's been 725 of them.
Yeah. I love that there's that many people with that handle out there.
Yeah, that's kind of terrifying.
Yeah. At FBI.
Female body inspector.
Nice.
Who asks, what Bronze Age or 90s time traveling character would you bring back into main continuity? I mean, we talked about them already.
For me, it's Wave
Rider. Yeah.
It's absolutely Wave Rider. There's no question.
Yeah.
He's the raddest looking dude in the world. I'm going to pull him up here so you can gaze upon his glory.
Yeah.
Look at fucking Wave Rider. Fucking
great. Looks awesome, man.
stupid pop-ups. There's hot singles in my area.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look how fucking rad he looks.
Yeah, he looks rad as hell. He's got dudes in him too.
Yeah, that's yeah, well, that's also why I like him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the time rainbow. I love his like shiny gold.
Yeah.
Very Silver Surfer.
Yeah,
kind of,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that's not an accident,
Of course.
I like his sort of like fiery, like energy hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, just cool as shit. I think I also just like the idea of something like a Silver Surfer, of like that. There's that kind of thing of like the wind in your hair kind of idea. It's a thing I liked about this is an insane reference about Bob when he's in the web in Reboot.
Oh my god.
Remember? And then he merges with Glitch and he gets like the shiny, kind of like white, shiny, like pearl suit.
Hell yeah.
These are all the same character to me.
Yeah.
Silver Surfer, fucking Bob merged with Glitch from Reboot, and Wave Rider. I love that kind of shit. He doesn't need like a weird wristband or whatever.
No.
He's part of time.
Yeah.
Like he rides time like it is like an ocean. Like there's a sort of like natural connection to it that I think a lot of characters lack, especially when they're using technology. There's something neat about someone that's like in tune with time.
Man, fucking Reboot ruled.
Reboot is the coolest shit in the world.
I can't.
Except for that weird last season.
Yes.
Where there's like then
Is it Pirate this season?
No, that's when they're in the web.
Yeah, that
looking
was
for
cool.
Bob. That's cool as shit. It's after that then there's a virus infecting the supercomputer, and you meet all the other Guardians and shit.
Oh.
That's a kind of
I do remember that, yeah. But
everything leading up to that is wild.
I mean, I won't look at it again because like there's no way to look.
The animation's bad.
Yeah. But in my mind,
classic,
so good
and amazing. I mean, it's the exact same animation as Beast Wars. I don't recommend going back to Beast Wars either, frankly.
No.
But yeah,
fuck that. All right, last question from Reddit comes from Not I Noobmaster 69.
Nice.
Who asks, who would you want to write an Abracadabra versus Booster Gold series? I think it would be an interesting idea given both characters travel back in time to deceive the common public with future technology.
That's true. So Abracadabra is a Flash villain. He's been played by David Dastmalchian on the Flash TV show.
Really?
Yep.
What season? The new season?
No, like season 2.
I don't even remember that.
Something like that. Yeah.
I must not have had unknown who he was yet.
I mean, he had been in... At that point, he had been in The Dark Knight. He had been in Ant-Man. Like, he was in stuff. But at any rate, Abracadabra comes from the 64th century. So even further in the future. He comes from the year 6363. And he comes back. Basically, I think the setup is that he's like a stage magician in the future, but crowds hate him because there's no call for magic in a time where science can do everything.
I mean, that's very funny.
Which is, like, why would you even try?
Yeah, I love
Why
that.
would that be an idea in your head that I'll be a stage magician?
I mean, that's like people who are like, I'm going to use a typewriter now.
I guess, yeah. Oh, God, yeah, he's an insufferable hipster type.
Yeah.
So he goes back in time, not necessarily just for fame, but...
I do like the idea that he just goes back to be a magician rather than just going back and using future technology.
But the Flash is, he realizes he needs to get people's attention, so he starts robbing banks and fighting the Flash and stuff. But he's fighting with 64th century technology, so everything he does looks like magic.
Yeah.
It's basically he embodies that Arthur Conan Doyle quote, right? Like any sufficiently advanced science will appear as magic kind of thing. So that's Abracadabra.
But also, like, he really, like, lost hold of the thing he was trying to do. Because he went back in time to do magic, and then he's like...
He just ends up being a villain.
He ends up just using that future technology that he ran away from, and then...
And he's not doing magic.
And he's not doing magic.
It's not like he's doing stage magic in the past. And he's like, thank God they don't have future
No.
here.
He fully just like let go of the thing.
He also gets stuck in the past.
It's so funny.
Because the way he travels to the past is with this thing called M-metal.
Sure.
And it has like a radiation that lets you time travel or some bullshit like that.
Yeah.
But its half-life is like super quick. And when the radiation dissipates, you're stuck there.
What an idiot.
So he ends up stuck in the back. I mean,
this guy sucks.
He ends up back in the future, like these are comics, right?
Yeah. This guy
stuff
sucks.
happens and he ends up there. You would expect a character like Abracadabra would be like a major threat.
Really?
Major villain. He has 64th century technology.
Sure. Yeah.
He can do anything.
Sounds like he sucks though.
He does.
Yeah.
It's kind of the thing. He does, like, at one point he implicates himself in the trial of the Flash. He disguises himself as a juror and makes sure they convict the Flash.
Jesus, okay.
This is when the Flash goes on trial for killing Reverse Flash and all this kind of shit.
Yeah.
But it is interesting that he has... there are elements of him that do seem like slight parallels to what will eventually be Booster Gold.
Sure.
Someone who, like, disillusioned with their present who goes back in time for their own gain. Who would you want to? Booster's your boy. What kind of creative team would you want on a Booster Gold versus Abracadabra?
Who would I want?
Miniseries.
Piece of shit. Sounds like a shitty ass book.
Wow. You have not sold Richard.
No, I don't like this at all. Gosh. Who would I want to stick with this crap?
Well, I mean, if you think it's that mid, then do we just go I'm trying to think as you here. Do you just go Jeff Johns, Jim Lee?
I mean, that was fucking hilarious. Yeah. Let's do that. Or make it something good like Zdarsky and like
Zdarsky would be really fun.
Yeah.
Zdarsky and Jimenez.
There you go. Yeah. If we want something good, we'll do that.
Yeah, there you go.
There's a good idea and a bad idea.
Yeah.
For a thing that ultimately shouldn't exist.
I think it's a clever observation that they have some parallels there, but I'm not sure that makes a good pairing.
Yeah. Let's leave.
Wow.
Reddit and going over the dog score.
Oh shit. Fuck.
Yeah. Remember that thing you do?
No, I've already done that one.
Yeah.
Fuck. Damn it. Wait.
I'm waiting. I'm not saying anything.
Wait.
Do you want me to pause the recording or?
Fuck, what's a song? No.
What's a song?
What's a song? Who first did a song?
Just any song.
You want to know the only song I have in my head right now?
Beauty and the Beast?
No, the Monsters, Inc. theme.
Oh.
Ducks go.
There's not even lyrics to that.
Ducks go.
No, it doesn't count. No. You can't put lyrics to a song. That's not the point of it. No. Another one.
Ducks go boo.
Do another one.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Not like this.
No, do another one.
Okay, fine. Here we go. And all my dogs, I scored someone like dogs.
Oh.
And I thank Scorn that I finally doxed you.
What was the song the other day? Brian. What was
On the Toretto Talks was move,
Brian, get out the way, Brian.
Get out the way, Brian. Get out the
Have you done the next one yet?
No.
Oh my god.
It's going to be good, though.
Yeah.
I told you about it.
Yeah.
I actually have a plan, yeah.
All right.
Here's the crazy thing.
Uh-huh.
Me planning it is not better.
No.
They're equal.
Yeah.
Whether
yeah,
I'm like struggling and winging it or just planning it.
It's the same result.
Yep.
First question comes from Mullet Overlord, who asks, where do you rank the Superboy Prime time trapper against the other two time trappers?
Right. So this is the thing I was talking about.
Yeah.
That there are kind of 3 time trappers. The Superboy Prime one is slightly interesting. Well, I mean, it is interesting because Legion of Three Worlds is a good story. It adds another meta layer to Superboy Prime about how he views his role in the story and stuff like that. Dude, I don't know if him as the time trapper specifically does it for me. I kind of like the Rock Kryn reveal, like the Cosmic Boy as time trapper reveal. I don't know that I fully understand how that works power-wise or what it means, but I think it's kind of cool. I mean, I kind of dig that. I'm into it. I like it better than anything in Armageddon 2001 about revealing a future villain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The idea that like Cosmic Boy, like founding member of the Legion, is also their greatest enemy is like I think that's there's something kind of interesting there.
Yeah, totally.
I dig that. But really, the original Time Trapper was just sort of like anonymous, whatever. It's like he's got a cool look, just that kind of purple hood. You can't see inside. He looks like the ghost of Christmas Yet to Come sort of thing. Yeah, I mean, you can't beat that really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all those Christmases before I turned 13.
Oh no.
All the Christmases is yet to come.
Jesus. Good Lord. That's what your uncle called them?
Oh no. Oh. I didn't. That's the problem.
Oh no.
All right, Fred. Yes. Next question. You did it. It's your fault.
I know. I don't feel good about it.
Yo Crow, who asks, would the Flash be categorized as chronokinetic?
I don't think that's true. Yeah. He can't manipulate time. He can move. Well, you know, we're splitting a lot of hairs when it comes to the Flash.
Yeah.
I would say he can't manipulate time. He's moving fast. He has a different relationship to time.
Yeah.
But he's not like affecting time. Now, a character adjacent to the Flash who affects time is Zoom, Hunter Zolomon. Because where Reverse Flash uses the now retconned negative Speed Force, the Flash uses the Speed Force. Zoom's initial thing was that the Speed Force affected his relationship to time.
Yeah.
Now, anyone with even like a passing knowledge of physics knows that space and time are the same thing, and so everything I'm about to say is actual like physics bullshit.
Okay.
But the premise in the comics was that Flashes generally are moving through space very quickly. Yeah. What Hunter Zolomon could do was move time around him. Oh. So it gave the effect of him moving quickly, but he was moving time.
Yeah.
He was chronokinetic. Like specifically in the comics, Hunter Zolomon's power was to mess with time. He did it in a way that essentially just replicated the powers of Flashes.
Yeah.
But instead of it being like a kinetic energy, it was like a temporal kind of thing.
Yeah.
So again, very hair splitty. Like this doesn't hold up outside of a comic book.
Yeah.
And Hunter Zolomon was ultimately still connected to the Speed Force. He just had like a different application of the powers.
Sure, yeah.
But that's a Flash adjacent character who I would describe as chronokinetic. He was actually moving and affecting time with his powers as opposed to moving himself through time.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
Yeah.
Next question from the real Josh Gill, who asks, are there any characters that can only travel one way, into the future or into the past only, and back to the present?
Well, I mean, you know, Bruce, when he gets launched back in time after Final Crisis,
Sure.
only travels forward in time.
Sure.
He hops forward through time
Yeah.
until the present.
Yeah.
Abracadabra, like I mentioned, goes back in time, and then the M metal radiation wears off, and he's sort of stuck there.
He could theoretically go back.
And he does end up back. That's just comics being cyclical. That's not about like he. The point was that he was stuck there for a bit. He went back one way, basically. Character that can only move one way in time. I'm positive there's probably stories out there that include a character that like can't control it and is only moving backwards or something. There's no way it's not out there. I can't think of it offhand, but that seems like too obvious an idea not to have happened somewhere. Other characters who... Sorry, what was the second part of the question?
It was into the future only, or into the past and back to the present.
Oh, right. Well, I mean, like I said, Flashes can travel to the future, but generally when we think of their time travel powers, it's about going back in time and then back to the present.
Yeah.
Because the future is always uncertain, unstable.
Yeah.
That's... They can do it, but I think they're kind of... their rule is also don't go to the past. But if they do it, they mostly go to the past.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's see. Yeah, that's tricky. I can't think of any other character specifically where it's like I can only travel to the... But I guess there is the element of like Time Trapper is at the end of time. The linear men are at the end of time. So theoretically, they can only travel backwards in time and then to where... And then back to their present.
Yeah.
But the end of time is more of a stand-in for being kind of outside of time.
Yeah.
But I guess technically, just by being in the position they're in, they only move in one direction and then back to their present.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, last question from Damiana Demak, who asks, time powers sound like they would bite you in the ass.
Oh, yeah.
Has that ever happened? What's the best moment of this power biting characters in the ass?
Well, I talked about David Clinton before, Chronos, the first Chronos.
Yeah.
He, in this event called Underworld Unleashed, which we'll be talking about next week.
Yeah.
He sells his soul to the demon Neuron in exchange for actual time powers. But all of the Neuron shit always is like a monkey's paw scenario. There's always like a catch. And what it does is every time he uses the powers, it's aging him. So like in a matter of like weeks, he's like old. And it fucks with him beyond that. He becomes like Perdegaton, sort of unmoored in time. And he's no longer, he phases in and out of the timeline. He jumps around.
Yeah.
And so he becomes because he tried to get, his hubris, he tried to get more time powers. He ends up like detached from time and ultimately dying. So that, that bites him in the ass. Abracadabra lived in a place where science could do anything, and he went back in time to do what?
Nothing. Sucks.
That's the definition of bite him in the ass.
Yeah.
I think.
Barry Allen, like, trying to fix his life and then ruining everything.
I mean, the example.
The example, I think, yeah.
Flashpoint is maybe the example of it. Yeah, that's a really good one. That's solid. Time travel biting people in the ass. Yeah.
Oh, who's the one that goes to the end of time, sees how everything ends?
Oh, well, you might be thinking the opposite.
Oh,
but are you thinking of Krona, like the rogue guardian?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a cosmic bite in the ass.
Yeah.
Because he goes the idea is that if you see the hand of creation at the beginning of time,
yeah.
That's like forbidden in the Book of Oa. We do not do this. Yeah. And this rogue guardian of the universe, Krona, does it, and it creates the infinite multiverse.
Yeah.
It's such a traumatic, horrible thing to have done that it fractures reality into infinity.
Yeah.
It also wakes up the anti-monitor.
That's what it is, yeah.
It kicks off the crisis.
Yeah.
So we Flashpoint is bad, but the real time version of fuck around and find out is Krona looking at the moment of creation. Yeah, that's a good one. Look at you.
That was 2.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That makes up for you fucking up that extant question.
I got
Don't think I forgot.
No, sir. All right. Well, that was the last question.
Nice.
If you would like to...
Oh, can I mention one thing that
No.
I wanted to mention, but it didn't come up for the questions?
Okay.
I talked about Abracadabra and
Yeah.
the trial of the Flash.
Yeah.
At some point near the end of that story,
Yeah.
the Flash goes to the future
Yeah.
to fight Reverse Flash.
Okay.
But it's actually Abracadabra, I think.
Oh, okay.
But he ends up in the future, like in the 30th century.
Okay. Not the 64th.
No, because he thinks it's Reverse Flash. So he goes to
okay.
Reverse Flash's future.
Sure.
And the Rogues, for a reason I can't remember, decide to help him. And the Rogues, with no speedster of their own, use the cosmic treadmill to go to the future. It's one of very few instances I can think of someone using the cosmic treadmill.
And it's also to go future and not be able to come back.
It working fine.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
Hunter Zolomon tries to use the cosmic treadmill, and it explodes, and he becomes Zoom.
Oh, wow.
So it's just a weird instance. It's a thing that I was reminded of while I was looking at other stuff for this episode, but there wasn't a good chance to bring it up. But
Fair.
yeah, the trial of Barry Allen is like late 70s into the 80s. It's like it leads up to Crisis where Barry dies. It's near the end of his Flash story.
Nope. No. You're not on... they didn't give you morphine again.
Squeebity-boo.
I'll never forget that day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was happy then.
Yeah, you were happier than I've ever seen you.
Yeah.
Morphine rules.
I mean, listen, it's great.
All right. Well, if you want to send in a question for next week's episode.
Yeah. So, as voted on by the Golden Age patrons, next week, we're talking about an event called Underworld Unleashed.
Underworld.
This is the event that I've alluded to here, where the demon Neron, basically a bunch of villains sell their souls to him. He makes all these offers to villains and heroes because he's trying to gain soul currency so he can make his play in hell.
Who does that sound like?
I mean, this happened first, but
I'm more of like it's related to a thing, but yeah.
This happened first.
Sir.
Don't you dare think otherwise.
Okay.
But we're going to be talking about that. We're gonna read Underworld Unleashed.
Sure.
We're going to read Underworld Unleashed.
Whatever you say. Roll the dice and see what happens.
Just hang on. Sidebar. You can edit this bit out.
Okay.
I know you will, obviously.
Yeah.
You need to fucking try.
I'm trying.
You piece of shit. I swear to God, if they knew how much I have to fucking drag you through this, you are the worst. You lazy fucker. If I have to come, I'll kick your ass and make you read Underworld Unleashed. Now you better cut this out. I don't want them knowing that I'm abusing you.
Oh, it's okay. I'm sorry.
Edit point. So we're gonna read that. You silly scamp. Obviously, we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Great. And so send your questions about Neron, about villains selling their souls, about the stories of Underworld Unleashed. That's next week's episode.
You can send those to our...
Sorry, sidebar. Edit this bit out.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't fucking get it together, you sound like you're shaking, and they're going to fucking know that shit is happening here. Look at me when I'm talking to you.
Your wife was right.
Yeah, you're goddamn right she was right.
Jesus Christ.
By that, I mean, she rightly pointed out that I've been abusing you. Edit point.
Hey, you could reach out to us through our Facebook.
That was really good and happy of you.
Yeah.
At Dr. DC.
Twitter.
At Dr. DC. Oh, wait. Facebook is Dr. DC Podcast.
Oh, you...
Sorry, I was just I was just busy being silly.
Can we pause this for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Are you fucking kidding me?
so sorry.
Are you
Oh,
fucking
no.
kidding me? You have one fucking job.
so
I carry this
sorry.
entire goddamn podcast every fucking week, and you can't even do the one fucking thing at the end of the podcast.
I'm sorry.
I swear to God.
Oh my God.
Edit point. So Facebook.
Dr. DC podcast.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Yep.
Twitter.
At Dr. DC.
That seems right. Instagram.
Dr. DC podcast.
Email.
drdcpodcast@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, can we just sidebar quickly?
Yeah.
Here? Edit this bit out afterwards. If you don't fucking pick this up, this is going to be the longest part of the goddamn episode. You better pick up the fucking pace, you slow-ass piece of shit. Edit point.
Yes. A subreddit. We got a subreddit.
r/Dr_DC.
The doc phone is always open.
208-917-3238.
208-917 DCEU.
Sorry, sidebar for a second.
Yeah.
You can edit this part out after.
Yeah.
If you talk over me.
I was trying to go fast.
Oh, yeah? You're trying to go fast? You're trying to go fast? I'm trying to go fast. How about you let me fucking finish? Take your cue from me. Look at how I do it. Look at how I do it. Look at how I do it.
I'm looking.
Edit point.
Like you always say, you finish first.
Edit point. How many times do I have to say fucking edit? Wait, sorry. This is the real one. Edit point.
We're on TikTok.
At Dr. DC.
Our website.
drdcpodcast.com or .ca.
Why don't you give us a 5-star review?
Give us those 5-star reviews. We love them. We'll read them on the show. You can send them to Apple or...
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Edit point.
Oh my god. I'm sorry.
Oh, Apple, you fucking...
sorry.
Where did the reviews go? I don't know. We've been doing this for 6 fucking years. You don't know where people send reviews?
I got flustered. I'm sorry.
Here's your review for you. 1 fucking star, you piece of shit.
I know. I'm going to drop off the
Pick it up.
page.
Edit point. So why don't you give us a 5-star review?
Yeah, we love them. We'll read them on the show. If it's not on Apple or Facebook, then you just take a screenshot and send it to us, because otherwise we won't get notified.
That's right. Also, if you want to give us a few shekels and get some more content every week, why don't you subscribe to our Patreon?
Sidebar. Quick second here. You can edit this out after.
Yeah, no, of course.
I will do this myself. And not in the way where you get to go and do something else with your time. You're going to sit. You're going to watch me do it. You're going to know that it should be you. You're going to know it should be you.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Maybe I'll become friends with Brian. Oh, you'd fucking love that, wouldn't you? Me and Brian will do the show.
I'd like to watch you and Brian together.
What?
Yeah, I'd love to see you
Oh
and
my
Brian
God.
together.
I'm kind of into this power shift.
Is this happening?
Edit point.
Why don't you subscribe to our Patreon?
Patreon.com/DrDC. There's a $1, $5, $7 level. They all give you access to the Doc Squad, our awesome fan community. At the higher levels, you get bonus episodes. And at the highest level, you get bonus episodes. Toretto Talks. We're going through all of the Fast and Furious movies in the lead up to Fast X.
That's right. And if you want even more content for free, you can subscribe to Ghost Facers.
A Supernatural rewatch. We're going through every single episode of the CW Supernatural. We just started season 7. We had former, past and future guest of our show, Kyle Clark. He's been a guest on Ghost Facers. He comes on for every season premiere. We just did season 7, episode 1 with him. That's a really fun one. And we talk about real world monster lore, behind the scenes stuff about the show. It's a lot of fun.
That is it for this week. Adios.
Ciao, ciao? Wait, it's sidebar.
Yeah.
We should keep that. I really like us switching that up.
Yeah, that was good. Let's keep
okay.
doing that. Yeah.
Edit point.
Adios.
Ciao, ciao.
All the superheroes, they always fight for what is right. Live with danger and adventure, they are men of might.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.